brought him up. Let's talk about him a little bit more. 45 King.
Yes.
Absolute legend.
Yes.
In hip hop, man.
Rest in peace, Pops.
People may not understand, but that's why we have this platform here to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. Man, 45 King was a huge figure in my life, you know, a major piece of what I'm doing right now. He gave me my start pressing vinyl back in 2017. But more than that, he was definitely a good friend and somebody that became like a father figure to me. Probably one of the most supreme b-boys that has ever walked the face of the earth. And also one of the best and kindest human beings. That man was a legend, and he meant the world to me.
For people who are unaware, he produced for many people, has done many remixes. Some of his most notable production is Stan by Eminem, Hard Knock Life by Jay-Z, and he also I believe it was called 900 Number, the original sort of sample flip that became Let Me Clear My Throat. Those are some iconic songs and moments in hip hop. So he's also produced for Queen Latifah, Craig Mack, Big Daddy Kane, MC Lyte, Diamond D, Rakim. Like I mentioned, tons of remixes. So amazing producer. In his own right there. Amazing DJ. Many times before. I heard his name many times in hip hop documentaries when I was doing research, and I put it on again this morning to give myself a little refresher. But he did a Boiler Room set. About 10 years ago. Was mind blowing to me at the time when I first listened to it, and it really helped put me onto some real hip hop shit. If you will.
And you know what's crazy is like there's different understandings or like different definitions, I think, based on the generation that you came up in, of what real hip hop is, right? So that's somebody that I met, and I knew a lot about hip hop. I mean, like I'd been doing that shit for decades, you know, before I had met him. And I remember talking with him about certain things, and again, it was just like, damn, I still have so much to learn.
That's what it feels like when I talk to you, by the way.
Oh shit!
You're always putting me on and dropping knowledge. So
I mean, you know, you got it. I mean, I think the whole point of this is to really to spread the word. You know, dope hip hop should be something that's enjoyed by all, and you know, I think there's definitely a time period of like gatekeeping in hip hop, like covering the labels on records and not showing motherfuckers what you're playing and all of that shit. And yo, salute to that shit too, because it was a war to have the dopest shit. Before it was internet and you could just go buy shit on the internet, like no, you had to actually find the dopest shit and know about what it was. So you know, with that being said, we're in a new age right now, and I feel like having more people aware of it is better. You know, I definitely want to spread the word. Some of these artists that I'm working with, I feel like there's some of the most talented people in hip hop right now, and maybe everybody doesn't know about them, but if you do get a chance to listen to them or hear their projects, you're gonna be like, yo, this is fire. You know, I'm thank you for putting me on. So I'm all about that, man. Like I love to spread the wealth and you know, kind of bless people with something that they may find useful in their life, you know, and something that enhances their experience, you know, in this hip hop shit overall. So
let's talk more about your relationship with 45 King, sort of how it started, building it, and then I mean, take me into like vinyl production, man. It's come back in a big way as of recently, you know, over the last 10 years. But from who you learned it from, it's like from more of the essence, the core.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have come from better soil in this hip hop shit, you know. You know, King. So I met him back in 2015. I was buying records from him, And just in the course of communicating about the orders and stuff, we wind up talking. And you know, he had a really interesting way about himself. You know, he was particularly friendly, but he could be a little unusual, a little quirky, you know. I remember like the first order I had made with him, he emails me and then like he follows up with like a voice recording. And he's just like, yo, this shit is too much to type out. I just wanted to know, do you want me to sign your records, you know? And I sent him a voice message back. And, you know, I wind up doing more orders with him, talking with him, getting real cool with him. And, yeah, this is like 2015 when we met. So by like 2016, we're like FaceTiming, you know, like every day we got real cool, like real friendly, man. That's just like a very welcoming person, you know, 45 King, and, you know, fun to be around too, you know, so it was real easy for us to just kind of, to really get cool like that. So, 2016, you know, we're FaceTiming instead of calling. So he's seeing me cut, you know, I'm seeing him make beats. And, yo, it was crazy because he was playing beats that were unreleased, you know, just stuff from his vaults. And, I would always be like, yo, what is that? Yo, that's so dope. Are you going to put that on record? Like, do you want to, you know, what are you doing with it? And King at that time, he was at a place where he was just sort of, it's like, yo, like I've done it all. You know what I mean? Like my catalog is already over 100 records. Like I've produced for everybody from Madonna to New Kids on the Block to Lisa Stansfield to Queen Latifah. You know, his catalog is insane, and it's more than just like the Jay-Z and Eminem and Queen Latifah shit. Like if you really dig in there, he remixed Fame for David Bowie. Like that's crazy. Are you serious? Like, yo, that's like the rap
remix
producers
list alone.
Yeah, and like it was a legit remix. Like it was authorized. Like the label paid him to do that shit. Like that's for real. So, you know, there were very few hip hop producers at that time that were doing that, the stuff of that caliber. You know, so he has, you know, he has a particular like depth of experience that's just, it's unsurpassed. You know, there are very few producers in hip hop that can say that they have a catalog that rivals 45 King. There are maybe a couple, but not many. And so, you know, 2016, he's like, yo, I've been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? What do I need to press another record for? So, I think he just, you know, he kept playing stuff. I just kept being like, yo, man, this is crazy. Like, this is dope. What are you doing with it? You know? And I know like around late 2016, I had asked him like, yo, do you want to press a vinyl? And, you know, probably like 3-4 times I already asked him. And it wasn't something that he was opposed to. He just wasn't really interested in it at the time, you know? And he had, right before that, he had pressed 545s. They were MASH, Oprah, 3, No Kidding, and Red Alert. So 2015, 2016, he was still, you know, he still had that stuff to get rid of as well. And so around January of 2017, my pops got sick, and you know, he had gone into the hospital on a Monday. And I remember getting a call from his brother on like Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, and he was like, "Yo, I'm not sure like how much longer he has, so you need to come up here." And me and King were already like daily, like talking daily at that point, FaceTiming, and you know, we were real cool, you know, real cool. And I remember being at the hospital, and my pops passed, and I came out of the room, and I hit 45 on the FaceTime, and I remember like, you know, I wasn't crying or anything. I definitely, you know, I was hurt, but it wasn't like I was distraught. You know, I knew things were going to be okay, you know, and this is just kind of like part of the cycle of life, you know. And so I hit 45 on the FaceTime, and like as soon as he knew me, you know, but as soon as he saw my face, he was like, "Your pops passed, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, didn't he?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was just like, "Oh man, you know, I'm really sorry to hear that." And in the conversation, I was just like, "Yo, man, so you really don't want to press a record, man? Like, you sure you don't want to press a record?" And he was just like, "Yo, your pops just passed away and you're still asking me about pressing this record. You must really want to do this shit. You know, you must really want to do this shit." So he was like, "Cool, let's do it," you know. So that was that was January 2017. We had really pressed that first record, unofficially called "You Ain't Got This." It's 545 King Beats. He selected two of them. I selected two of them, and then there was one beat that one of his DJ friends wanted, so he made an edit for that project, for his DJ friends. So, so we did that record. January 2017, we submitted it. We had Large Professor's 45th birthday party, March of 2017, and I was kind of like, "Yo, like." It would be perfect to have these vinyls for that birthday party. And so so we got the test presses like the week before the birthday party, and the footage that you see on YouTube of 45 King DJing at Large Professor's birthday party at Bowery Ballroom in New York City, or I'm sorry, Bowery Electric in New York City. The vinyl that he's playing are those test presses of our first record. So if you watch the video, you see I'm right there in the background. I was his record boy. 45 King was a record boy for for DJ Breakout from the Funky 4+1, and I was 45 King record boy. You know, so it's crazy. Like if you see that DJ set. I don't know if he did this in the Boiler Room set, but if you watch that DJ set, like he's playing the 45s and then he just tosses them. Like you don't see him like put him away carefully. Like he tosses them. He has like a hamper in front of the turntables and he's just tossing them. $300 45s, $500 45s. Boom. He rocks. He cuts doubles of it. Fucks that shit up. Boom. Throws it in the fucking hamper. On to the next one. And like you just see him tossing the shit. It's the craziest fun. It's the craziest thing to see. And yeah, that was the first time I met Large Professor, and that was really my introduction to like true New York DJ party culture. Yeah, that party right there. Yep.
That sounds like a fun
time,
a good one to be at.
Yo, let me tell you, bro. Like, there were so many fucking legends in that building that night. Yo, I met the Beatnuts that night. Marley Marl was in there that night. Jazzy J, original Jazzy J, you know, he was in there. Royal Flush, Mike Geronimo, Cheeks from the Lost Boys. Like, it was crazy. It was like just being around, you know, any way you turn, you're around hip hop like
time
royalty.
Capsule, like being back in the 90s, right?
Yeah, around all of your fucking idols, man. That shit was crazy. All in one room. And you know, Bowery Electric is like it's a pretty small room. It's a little bigger than Meadowlark's main room, but I mean, it's still like, you know, when a party like that, it's like shoulder room. You know what I'm saying? Like people are jammed up in there, and everywhere you looked, it was like, yo, that's a legend. That's a legend. That's a legend. It was crazy. I'd never been around no shit like that in my life, and all of them were like, yo, King, like you're the fucking man. You know, that was a hell of a night, man.
If people can still purchase 45 King merch, records, something like that, what's the status?
So all right, here's the deal. Right now, the family is kind of ironing out the estate, but 45 King Records will continue, and you'll see me at the forefront of that push with the family. Right now there's kind of like 45 King did a lot of record deals. So, there's a lot of paperwork to resolve when you're getting an estate settled. But that's all in the process right now. And when that's completed, we will continue to push for 45 King records. So right now, if you want 45 King stuff, there is a website, 45kingstuff.com. However, if you place an order on it, you're going to get your money refunded. We kept that site live and active just, in his memory. But when the push for the new 45 King record stuff begins, you'll see a new website. You can hit me up on the DM. I may have a couple of dead stock titles just from my personal stash, because as we were kicking it, I was buying mad shit. Like, I always thought his stuff was valuable when everybody and I mean, there were a lot of people that knew his stuff was valuable, but there was a time where many people were sleeping on his merch, and you could have bought it directly from him and got it signed, and he was the coolest motherfucker. He would have hit you with a
conversation with
yeah,
him.
man. Yeah, you would have, you want me to make something out to your kid? Like, he would do shit like that, and so the fact that so many people missed out on that is just, it's crazy to me, and I think as time goes on, you're going to have more people saying like 45 King was a legend, and he absolutely was, but I don't know if all of those people were singing his praises when he was alive. But that being said, I knew the time, so I was stockpiling shit. I would buy shit from him. He'd be like, yo, like, you're buying like an 8th box set? I'm like, yup, can you sign this one for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew. I just knew. There's times where you hear certain talent, and it's just like so evident that this is like especially unique. And he was absolutely one of those ones. He was definitely one of those ones. Yep.
Rest in peace once again. Anything else you want to mention about 45 King before we start making some pizza? Because we're going to do the full conversation with T-Mac Experience today.
Okay, right. Yeah,
we're going to get to this, making some pizza real soon.
I've been looking forward to this.
Anything else, we want the listeners to know about 45?
About 45 King. I'll give you a couple of gems that he taught me directly. There's so much stuff that I learned from him. Some of them were things that he communicated to me directly. Some of them were things that I observed just from watching and being around him. But here's a couple of things that he gave to me directly. The first one is that there's no rules to art, right? So what you think is dope, and if somebody else doesn't think it's dope, they're right as well. It's subjective. So it's like, to me, I think that was really like, it was vindicating, because you should make your art the way you want to make it, be yourself, and do what you want to do. And I think eventually you'll find your tribe, but he was always, a big advocate of people just being themselves, so there's no rules to art. What one person likes, another person might not, and they're both right. The other thing is, treat everybody like you would want them to treat your mother. And that's a direct, anybody that knows 45 King, that's a direct 45 King quote. Treat people the same way you would want them to treat your mother. I think that absolutely speaks to his character, the type of person that he was, his kindness, but also his consideration and his understanding that people are also going through shit. You might see somebody and they may look like they're doing good, but you don't really know. So be cool to everybody. Yep. Yeah, those are two.
Take those in, people. Take those in.
Jewels.
Gems, baby.
From the King.